All right. Good evening, everyone. It's 7 o'clock on Wednesday, which means that it's time for another Fin Forecast show. This is episode 2. We're all super excited to bring you some more content tonight. And so look, we the 53-man roster was just released yesterday. I want to get you guys' reactions on all that because there's a lot to talk about. There was some Dolphins only kept 4 wide receivers, which I was pretty surprised about. Kept 5 running backs, including their fullback Alec Ingold. Cut guys like Nick Needham, Eric Ezukama, guys that we kind of wanted back. They also cut Blake Ferguson, which confounded me, but I think we're probably going to get him back, hopefully. But just want to talk to you guys about it real quick. Anthony, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and somebody reminded me actually on Reddit that we did that to John Denny like over and over and over and over again because it's just like, Blake, you're going to be back, prepare like you're going to start week 1. We're just going to churn the roster for the next 2 weeks, and then we'll bring you back right before the first week, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if he's even still in the building, honestly. That wouldn't shock me.
Sitting in the parking lot.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. They could probably just give him a guest pass for 2 weeks, right? I don't know what the rules are, but yeah. Hey, the Nick Needham call. I didn't honestly know I was going to be right on that, but I'm taking it, bro. I mean, yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. This is a guy I just felt it. I don't know why. I was looking at the list of names, and I was like, I could see Needham being cut. He doesn't have the draft capital. His play is up and down. He's been hurt. Like, maybe we go with the young guys instead. That's what we did, right? We kept Storm Duck, all-time great name. We kept Ethan Bonner, which is a fan favorite for you guys especially. Yeah. And then like our secondary is like brand new. We brought back Kader Kohu and Jalen Ramsey, and that's it. Everybody else is new in the cornerback room. And then in the safety room, who'd we bring back? Just Holland? Was Campbell here last year? I don't remember.
Campbell was here last year.
Yeah, Campbell was.
Yeah, so Javon Holland and Elijah Campbell, and then 3 new guys, which Patrick McMorris making the team. That's a 6th-round pick. That's interesting, too. Both 6th-round picks made the team because also Malik Washington is one of the 4 receivers that we kept. I mean, how hard is that? Insane. So last thing I'll say on this is that it's really funny. Like, we talked up a lot of guys who we said, like, we would love to see them make the team. But then when they did make the team, our reaction was like, wow, I'm really kind of surprised he made the team.
Isn't that how it always goes, though?
Right? I'm thinking like the tight ends, especially Tanner Connor and Julian Hill. We all really wanted to see them make it. And then they did make it. And we're like, oh, look at that. They made the team. Yeah. So some pleasant surprise.
Tanner Connor.
What's that?
I was especially surprised about Tanner Connor, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
That first preseason game, man, I'm telling you, he was. Yeah. He was.
I mean, he's clearly the number 4, but I'm happy that he's back on the team for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Steve, what are your thoughts on everything?
I'm honestly pretty surprised that they cut Mike White. I know obviously our quarterbacks haven't done anything, but if they weren't going to go after a veteran who I was calling for in Tannehill, like right away, and just kind of sat around for a little while, I didn't understand the pick. I did just see earlier today while I was at work, we did get a quarterback today. I forget who it was, but I remember thinking that if Tua goes down, I feel the same way as if I had Mike White. So it is a question. Maybe it was a contract thing, but that to me ultimately was a surprise cut. It seemed to not make sense.
Good old Tim Boyle.
Yeah, Tim Boyle. That's right.
Rocking the practice squad.
Hey, you know what though? I mean, he's had more starts than Mike White. He's played a lot more games. So
yeah, I honestly think he's a better fit. I mean, I'm not
probably
in a perfect world. He'll never see the field, let alone the 53 roster. But
yeah, he doesn't excite me. I mean, Tannehill doesn't excite me either. I get excited thinking about Tua throwing for hopefully 5,000 this year, but I don't see Boyle even throwing for 3,000 if we had him for the whole year.
Yeah, no.
I mean, we're not supposed to be titillated by backup quarterbacks, If we see our backup quarterback, we're definitely disappointed that Tua's, injured or underperforming or whatever, like, Tua is our starter. And by and large, the 2017 Eagles notwithstanding, you lose your starting quarterback, your season's basically over.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Mike White cut, I'm with you. I was a little surprised about it too, but they clearly have faith in Skylar Thompson. And I saw a thing the other day in that draft class. Skylar Thompson and Brock Purdy are the only two quarterbacks that are still on their original team draft.
No kidding.
Yeah,
that's a cool pull. I like that.
So that was it's pretty cool. But I like Skylar Thompson. I think he can maybe step in and do an admirable job. Should Tua have to miss a little bit of time, and I wasn't sad to see Mike White go.
I wasn't sad either, but like I said, I was surprised. It was kind of like it's a 1-for-1. It doesn't. It seems like it's more paperwork than anything.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was very underwhelmed with both, so I would have been okay with both of them leaving, both of them staying. It doesn't really matter because the hope is obviously, and the want as a Dolphins fan is that Tua plays the whole season. So I don't, in a perfect scenario, in a perfect world, which I know we never live in, it shouldn't matter who your backup is. I personally think that they're not done. I think that the Dolphins clearly approached this first version of the 53 as let's identify the young players that we have confidence in, that we want to develop, that we don't want to lose. Let's get rid of everyone else and then move them to practice squad, move them to injured reserve, because some of the ones that they kept, the rookies or the first year vets, some of them are injured. So I personally think that this roster is what it is now is going to be nowhere near what it looks like come week 1, day 1.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Josh. What are your thoughts on the cuts and everything?
Shocked at how many linebackers we kept. I mean, an absolute mess of them, which I think is great. I think it speaks to the type of defense we run. I think our DC is known for, or at least the scheme that he comes from and the scheme that he imitates to an extent, is turn and burn. So go out there, give us 1,000% of your effort for 5 plays in a row, and we're pulling you, and we're going to throw one on. So it's just, you're always getting guys in there that are fresh, so they don't get tired. The wide receivers confuse me. I think, especially with the scheme that Mike McDaniel runs, we know he needs wide receivers. But I think this speaks to the same thing. Maybe they know something we don't about Craycraft, for example. That's another one that could come back. Maybe they know something. Well, I mean, OBJ is out for 4 games, so that doesn't matter. I know we signed
the IR, I think.
Well, no, he's designated for return, I think.
Yeah, designated for return.
Yeah, so he can come back any time. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Yeah.
He's not out like OBJ for 4 games or like some of the other ones, because I think you can designate 2. So from your 8 or whatever it is IR slots, you can designate 2 to return at any point, and Craycraft was one of them. We signed Eskridge, which I was a fan of his, and when he came out, I thought he was going to be, a decent speed guy, but he, that's just churning the bottom of the barrel. So maybe he can give us something in the return game to allow Braxton to keep some wear and tear off his body. We signed some other guy from Green Bay who's a few people are high on his potential, but I can't remember what his name was.
Wide receiver. Yeah, I don't remember him either. Yeah. They were saying, I saw a stat poll that Green Bay lost 3 guys off waivers, and it was the first time they had lost anybody off waivers since Taysom Hill.
No kidding.
DeBose.
Tight end quarterback.
Crazy.
Just want to give a quick shout out to the Mad Chatter. He shows up for the AFC Summit every week, and he showed up for us tonight. So that's great. We really appreciate you, man. Thanks for tuning in.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Anthony McFarland is great. I mean, I liked what I saw from him in the UFL at least, but this is a different league, so
yeah. And some of the guys that we mentioned, like Eric Ezukama, like Nick Needham, Byron Matos, these are guys that the Dolphins all re-signed to the practice squad.
Yes.
So I think we're going to see all these guys in some capacity at some point.
We have a tight practice squad for sure. Like if players go down, our practice squad is stacked, and I'm glad those guys know that they have a home here and didn't go elsewhere and try to get on a 53.
Yeah, shout out
Yeah.
to Isaiah Johnson for us not losing him. I was so nervous. I was sure he was gone.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I was too. I think a lot of that probably has to do with the fact that we saw Johnson every day,
Yeah.
and we saw what he could do for us. And because if other teams had seen what we had seen, I think he would have been snapped up.
Yeah, he's also injured, so that probably played a little part in it as well.
Yeah.
We had the
Doesn't help.
room, if you will, to stash him on the practice squad. So, but I was really afraid. I was sure he was gone.